Hi everyone, Diana Rankin here with your messages and psychic predictions for March the 18th to the 24th. Daisy's here with me. She's got her head on my lap. Not sure she'll show up in the video because she's below the camera, but she's right here and she sends her love to all of you. I do want to talk to you about the state of the world and what possibly we can do about it and what we need to be concerned about. I want to also, so I do have a few predictions, I want to also tell you how this little tool, this is a kaleidoscope, and how this can actually help us. And then of course we will get into Philip's predictions, or Philip's messages, excuse me. But I want to first of all, and so does Daisy here, I want to thank you all for coming. For those of you who come back, I'm grateful. For those of you who disagree with me in comments, that's fine. You're probably going to hear me come back at you. I won't let you say anything that is harmful to others. So I do have a magic button called the delete key. But I'm very grateful for your comments, and I do hope you'll come back. And it's all right to disagree with me, but expect me to come back if you do. I want to say thank you. Thank you to the young people, especially those of Parkland, Florida, and their teachers and their parents who organized this really wonderful walkout. And I know 3,500 schools participated and others, maybe one student walked out. Thank you. I am so grateful for you because I was a product of the 60s. And so we were the young people who in those days got spit on and yelled at and maligned because we were against a war that we felt was unjust and was killing our brothers and sisters, mainly our brothers, because in those days women didn't serve combat roles. But that's another story. But thank you to these young people. And every young person who either said a prayer, was part of a sit-in, a walkout, whatever. And for those politicians, the Congress women and men who support these children, thank you. To the administrators and teachers and anyone else who said the children would get in trouble if they walked out, who did not condone this absolutely perfect opportunity for a teaching moment. Teach the children about civil unrest. Literature, teach them about Thoreau. History, teach them about what happened in the 60s. The civil rights movement, the women's movement, and in between those two, and at the same time as those two, the peace movement against a war that we later, even those who created the war, came to say it was an unjust war. So thank you. And for those administrators and teachers who missed this opportunity to use this as a teaching moment and say civil disobedience has no right, or these kids had no right, and they were threatened with suspension for up to like 3 days. I'd like you to look up a Supreme Court decision from 1968 where a brother and a sister, the Tinker, Tinker siblings, wore black armbands to school to protest the Vietnam War. The Supreme Court is on the side of the kids, not on the side of the administrators who don't seem to know what education is all about. So thank you, young people. Keep it up. We may have reached an age where we're not always willing to travel far to stand with you, but no, we're standing with you. And we will do all we can to continue standing with you, even travel. That said, I want to go on to where we are in our nation and how it's affecting the world. When Trump was first put into office, I told one of my best friends, also a reader, psychic and intuitive, I said, I don't know what this means, but I keep seeing military people around Trump. I can't put my mind around exactly what that means. Well, my friend said to me that we talked about the military parade that he wanted for his inauguration, but did not end up getting it. He is going to be getting a military parade, ironically, on my birthday, which also happens to be Veterans Day, which at one time was called Armistice Day. So November 11th, there will be a military parade in the United States of America. I'd rather celebrate my birthday. Tanks will not be part of that military parade because tanks are destructive. They're very heavy and they're destructive on the streets. So thank God the tanks won't be part of this. But what I want to say is dictators have military parades, not presidents of democracies. Years ago, before the Vietnam War, my mother, who was a wise woman, said to me, we're preparing for war. And when I asked her why, she said, when the newspapers and the TV shows and the movies are praising war, we're gearing the country up for a war. We've been at war, 17 years now? It's been a horrible, horrible war. And there are no winners in a war. Not really. But now we have military people around our president. But not just any military people. We have hawks. And we have a president who doesn't seem to know this is not a reality show. This is real life. We have a president who is unpopular. And this you've heard me say before, when we have an unpopular president, the best way to get the country behind you is for a natural disaster, or for it not an unnatural disaster, such as 9/11, a war. Do I think this president wants war? I think this president doesn't truly understand, how the American people and the people of the world would be destroyed, would be affected by a nuclear war. So that said, I think we're safe this week. I think we're safe for the next few weeks. But I'm going to ask every one of you, as is Daisy here, we're asking every one of you to see our world in the divine light of divine source. Just hold that world in your morning meditations, in your prayers, in your thoughts. Hold our world in light. And I can't stress this strongly enough. We are in a very critical time. Very critical. So please, do whatever you can. Say a prayer to your divine source and hold our world in light. Yes, we have to hold our Congress and our leaders we have to hold them responsible. And at the same time, we have to point out where there needs to be correction or something we feel is hurting the world. And at the same time, we have to send them love and prayers and pray and help them become good leaders. Not just condemn. Not just condemn, but to help them become good leaders. Our planet. Our planet needs saving. And we each have a responsibility to help do that. I promised to tell you about the kaleidoscope and what that has to do with saving our planet. And then we'll get to Philip's message. The kaleidoscope, I keep this little one. I have others, but I keep this little one in my office because when the world feels really upside down to me, or I start feeling frustrated or angry or anything other than what I want to feel, which is love, I kind of look at this and I turn it around and I start seeing the beauty in the world. I start seeing the crystals of the simplest thing. And so I keep this handy to remind me, look for the beauty in the simplest moment, in the simplest thing. There's such great beauty in our world. And here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're coming into spring. What an exciting time for there to be so much beauty with the buds of the flowers coming out and the new green lawn. I love the lime color of the green grass in the spring. And so that's all coming into our lives. And so let's remember, when the world feels really horrible, look through the kaleidoscope. Oh, wow, I wish you could see this. It's beautiful. So find those moments in your life that are beautiful. Find those special moments that give you glee. Because my friend, and you've heard me say it before, that's how we heal the world, to heal our own lives. And we do that step by step, breath by breath. We can stop a war. I'm counting on us. I hope we can. Let's see what Philip has to say. For those of you who are new, this is a book. These are some of the other books I've written in the back here. The Found Child is the latest one out in book form. And it is, if you want to know what happens after life or before we come into life and before we're born, it's a story, a very well written story, by the way. But The Found Child will give you all that information in the story. This is not a story. This is not fiction. This is nonfiction. And each page has a different wisdom on it. So we have to think left page or right page. And many of you write me or you comment below and you say, you said left and I got left. So think about it now, left page or right page. And by the way, my books are all on Amazon.com. The happiness book, I think it's out of print. As is 23 Days. 23 Days, A Celtic Journey will be coming back out probably late fall, and it'll be coming out in a second edition. It's out of print. So if you go to Amazon and there's a bookseller selling it for $125, don't buy it. Hang on. It'll be in a second edition coming out. The happiness book is out of print, but it will be coming out in a new, larger version called Joy, the Art of a Happy Life. I have to stop and think about the title. Joy, the Art of a Happy Life, and that will be out should be out in another couple of months. So it has 52 exercises and processes and little introductions and stories about how to live a happy life, how to be happy. So this is our message for today. We just flip through. A lot of people tell me they use this book either before they go to bed at night or in the morning, or if they have a question about their life. I use it when I sit down to journal in the morning, and I always ask Philip, what's your message for the day? And it's surprisingly how accurate this is. So we just go through, and when I also use the book a lot of times when I'm giving messages in groups. It's kind of fun if somebody says, there's no one in spirit world they particularly want to talk to, and there's nothing about their life they particularly want to, so just kind of something in general. And we get a message and then we make it very specific to them. So let's see what we have. There we go. I'm thinking right, but I always read both pages, but right is our message. Here we go, friends. Are we not all masters? Are we not all masters? Yes, absolutely. You are a master of your life. You have the power to change your life and make it a good, happy life, no matter where you've been. And in doing that, you help to heal the whole world. I couldn't do what I do. You know, my clients call me up and they talk to me about their problems and their woes and their heartaches and their betrayals. And they know I can empathize because I've been there. The advantage of being really old, I guess, as I've told you before, I'm 72, so I have a lot of experience. Combine that with the empathy and the psychic abilities or highly intuitive abilities, whatever words you put to it. And my clients know I've been there. I understand. That's what will happen in your life as well. So remember, are we not all masters? Yes, you are. The left side then, and this is interesting too, I think it goes along a little bit. The greatest adventure of all is within you. The greatest adventure of all is within you. That's our greatest adventure. Much better than the adventure that's happening out here. Not to say that the adventure that's happening out here doesn't apply to us or doesn't affect us. Certainly it does. But we can always change our perspective. Find the beauty. Get your own kaleidoscope. Get your own Daisy, who is full of love. And she's sending that to you right now, as am I. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for accepting our love. Thank you for adding love to your life and to the world. Until next week, my friends.